Let me go up a little bit. Hola, Unconventionals.
Hola.
¿Cómo están? You
Oh,
have to mute that.
Sorry.
Mute. Well, if you're new to our channel, we have been sharing our unconventional lives as American expats living in Ecuador for about last year and a half, and now we're sharing our unconventional quarantine.
Yes. And what is it today? Day 6?
Day 6 of our quarantine.
Yep. So we're going to give you guys a quick update. After we recorded our video yesterday, they changed our curfew, and now Santa Elena province is also on the 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. curfew. So that happened.
Yep. So we can't go out after 4 p.m. for any reason.
Yes. And the stores, the mercados, the grocery stores are open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. now, which I didn't know what the hours were anyway. So that's good to know. Yeah.
And I guess the curfew even applies to restaurant delivery. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, they have to. Everybody has to be in at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So no dinner restaurant deliveries, I guess.
Exactly. But you know what? Well, persevere. We have plenty of food. There's still, the grocery stores are full of food.
Yeah.
No one's going to go hungry. At least I hope not.
We've been cooking our own food. We haven't ordered out anything yet.
No, we have. Well, we probably won't.
No. Oh.
Especially since we're going to start doing cooking videos.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys an update, I just saw about an hour or so ago that we're up to 738 confirmed cases here in Ecuador. So that's a bummer, to say the least. And that the vice president said he thinks the next 7 to 10 days are going to be very difficult for Ecuador. I don't know what that means, but that did not make me feel very positive. I'm not going to lie.
No.
But, you know, there's nothing we can do about it other than all of us just need to stay at home and stay safe.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to do.
And didn't you say that they're talking about making it so we can only go out 1 day per week for groceries? Or is that hearsay?
That's hearsay at this point. I don't know. I don't, like you said, JP, I don't know how people would enforce that.
Yeah, I don't know how they would enforce it either, especially here in Alone.
And that was from somebody in Cuenca, so that may be for Cuenca.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't know. It's fluid, as we've said before. Just like everywhere in the world, things are changing quickly. So we're all here to keep each other updated. And speaking of keeping updated, let's see what people are saying. JP.
Oh, are there chat? Oh, our chat is not working on again.
Yeah. So for some reason, our YouTube studio chat doesn't work, but the YouTube chat is working.
But I tested it earlier. I did a test live stream earlier, and it worked fine. But oh well. So what are people saying? Amelia?
They're saying hola, hi, from all over. We've got California. We've got Terry. Hi, Terry.
Hola, Terry.
We've got Miami, Cuenca, New York, North Carolina, Tucson, Toronto. Carlos said, they're here, the toilet paper is gone. And hand sanitizer is reduced to 1 per person.
Where is that?
I'm guessing that's in...
Where are you, Carlos? Are you in Cuenca?
I think he's in Cuenca, yeah. Oh, here's someone from Brazil.
Wow.
Hey, how cool. On the other side of our continent.
Yeah, they're behind us.
Michelle. Hi, Michelle in Cuenca. Delaware. You guys, this is really neat. We've got people from all over the place. I'm sorry you can't see it, JP.
Well, I
you can look at mine, but then you got to look at the camera. I'll just keep reading to you. Canada, Tampa, Manta, Kansas.
Wow, Kansas? Who's from Kansas?
Tony Housel.
Hey, I'm from Kansas.
Austin, Texas, Quito, Buffalo, another Texas, Trinidad. Ooh, Trinidad, cool. Our friend Candace /Summer /Sequoia. Hi, I love all your names. Orlando, another New York City, Manchester, New Hampshire, and London. And yes, Tony said, yeah. I guess that's to Kansas Power.
Oh, Kansas Power.
I don't know.
I would say Rock Chalk Jayhawk, but if you're from Kansas State, you might hang up.
Don't hang up. We're all friends.
Sorry, I like Kansas State. Half my family went to Kansas State.
Got a couple of vegans on with us, JP. Hi from Connecticut. Steve Lewis says he's loving the mini videos.
Oh, Steve. I'm guessing you're not going to be able to come in a couple weeks.
Probably not.
We were looking forward to seeing you again.
I know, that's a bummer. Grocery store in Manta, based on the last number of cedula or passport. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. We haven't heard much about what's going on up north. Everything's been really, well, obviously centered here since this is where we live, and then hearing that they just closed off Guayas completely. So interesting. So Dynamic Daniel wants to know, how is it going in Ecuador right now? Is it under control yet?
It is not under control.
No.
It's getting worse every day. How many do we have now? How many cases?
We have 738 cases. I guess the question is your question is the number of cases under control, or are the people under control?
Yeah, well, we're definitely under control.
It's getting better.
The number of cases or the people?
The number of people.
Yeah.
There's still people breaking curfew, so hopefully that will continue to improve. But I think, and alone at least, people are behaving themselves. Like JP said, you saw barely anybody out. When we took the drone up yesterday, it was 9 a.m., so it was early, but there was nobody. Yeah. Very few people out and about.
Few people heading up to the Mercado.
Steve said he has not canceled the reservations left, but he's staying hopeful we could still come at Easter. We're very hopeful too.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We would love to see you. Well, we just hope things improve worldwide and our lives can return to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
I'm not that optimistic though. Sorry, guys. Ron said another 2 weeks for us in the U.S. I don't know. I thought I read somewhere, if anybody knows, I thought I read something about 10 to 12 weeks for the U.S., but it was just a headline and I just glanced at it, so I don't know exactly.
I would think.
What is going on.
What does that mean, 10 to 12 weeks for what?
I don't know.
Like international travel?
Isolation? I don't know.
So let us know, are you guys staying home or carrying out your normal activities? Are you forced quarantine like us, or what's it called?
I almost said self-soothing.
Self-soothing.
Are you self-soothing right now? Sheltering in place.
Yeah, self-sheltering.
Yes.
You have optional quarantine or mandatory quarantine.
Hey, say hi to Stephen, as in Stephen Turner.
Our
friend, not just your friend, our friend.
Well, that's Stephen.
He says he's bummed. He wants hoping to see our new place. He will eventually. Self-quarantine, yes. Tammy L said, U.S., as I understand, it is still decided state by state. Daisy and Alicia, how are they coping with the isolation? Well, Alicia is sleeping next to me, so basically no different than any other day in her life.
Yeah. Daisy is not happy.
No.
Daisy wants to go for her walk, and she is not allowed to leave. And she can't walk herself. So she's not happy. She sits in front of the door and stares at it half the day.
She has been going out and hanging out in the yard a little bit, but even the cats haven't been coming around bothering her as much, which is actually entertaining for her. So
yeah, that's her hobby is to bark at the cats, but they haven't been around.
Sorry, I'm just kind of skimming here. Yeah, Sequoia said, as a nurse, I'm quite sure this is going to be far longer than a couple of weeks. Yeah, I have to agree. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what the vice president was referring to when he said the next 7 to 10 days are going to get worse. I think that they just mean I believe they're preparing for a spike in cases, which makes sense because that'll be the 2-week time frame for our quarantine, right? Because we started March 17th. So time will tell, you guys. Time will tell.
Yep. Can you hear all the birds in the background? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but we have a bunch of birds, tropical birds outside singing right now.
I see some people are staying home and loving it. I just missed it. I saw somebody posted that. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. So Ron said 2 weeks is what President Trump said, and San Antonio things are getting better. Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, let's keep, like I said, let's stay positive and keep our fingers crossed that people are going to do everything they need to do to not spread this anymore, and no more people are going to get sick and die. Obviously, we don't want people dying. That's terrifying. Oh, and you can hear the birds. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, sorry, Pat. I don't think anybody's really going anywhere.
We were supposed to go back to Cuenca this week, but we obviously can't do that.
So Darwin just asked, for people visiting Ecuador, what will happen if they go over 90 days? I just saw a headline that came out this morning that they're extending all the visas. So no one's going to get kicked out. Well, there's no place for them to go.
Mhm.
They're, I think, until May or something like that. So people will be okay. I mean, they're just, they're in a tough situation. And same for if you're in the process of having your visa extended or whatever, everything's just on hold basically. So this is like a visa timeout for tourists, which is a good thing. Oh yes, that's Sequoia said the same thing.
So,
Oh, this is a really good idea. Brenda, me too. Maybe she said maybe you could drop or hide some treats for Daisy around the yard just to give her something to hunt for. That's a great idea. I like that idea.
although if I drop a piece of popcorn on the floor, she'll walk right over it, and I have to point at it for her to find it. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe laziness, but we could try.
I think we could do that with her food.
Yeah.
The dry food. That's a really good idea. That would be fun. It would be entertaining for us if she actually played along.
Yeah.
She's not always into playing.
She doesn't play very much. She pretty much just sits there and stares at you like, what do you think I am, a trained monkey?
Michelle said Coral had tons of TP, hand sanitizer, alcohol at Mall del Rio here in Cuenca. They sprayed people down before entering store and masks are required. That's good.
Yeah, we're not sure where you get masks here, but when I've gone out to the stores, they squirt my hand with the hand sanitizer before I give them money or touch anything. So that's nice.
Sandra said we look great. Thank you. Hopefully I won't totally lose my tan. Although I was thinking today that it's, we're not using nearly as much sunscreen or bug repellent, so we're saving on that front.
I've already lost all my tan.
No, that's not true. You just can't see. JP actually does have a tan line.
I have a farmer's tan.
Yes.
A rash guard tan from my rash guard from swimming in the ocean. Which I wish we could do right now.
I know, I'm sweaty.
It's
I
hot.
have a laptop sitting on my lap. It's not helping. I think I'll use this pillow. There.
Is that better?
Yes.
Es mejor.
Sí, gracias.
Con gusto.
I was trying not to have our computers in the
Well, my computer's
screen,
not
but
in the
I
screen.
guess yours isn't. I'm just
Mine's
looking
right
at
there.
it. You're right. Hey, what can I say? I have a lot on my mind, Stonestreet. The dogs have not met an iguana yet. I don't know how Daisy would react if she saw an iguana.
She would probably
freak out.
She's a very fearful dog, so she would probably be very afraid. Unless they're a cat or a squirrel.
Yeah, and people are asking when the quarantine's going to end, and I wish we knew. I mean, we just have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
Right now the flights are off. Arrival flights, international arrival, and all domestic flights are banned until April 5th. But who knows?
But my guess is that will be extended as well, especially to countries that have a lot of cases, like the U.S. and Italy and Spain.
Some people, we just had Alan just asked, are people complying with the curfews? Some people are, and some people are not. And those who are not are getting arrested. And it's serious. They'll throw you in jail.
Yeah.
I would not put myself at risk like that. I don't know if people just aren't paying attention or what the deal is.
Rebels.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think of the live stream? We've done some for our patrons. This is our first ever
Public
live stream. It's kind of neat. I like it. It's weird to see myself in two different screens. I think that's why I was talking about the two computers.
Okay. And also, this is about a 3-second delay.
It's a delay, so it's a little distracting, but at least I turned off the volume so we're not hearing ourselves in a 3-second delay.
That's good.
So Steven said, maybe I'm naive, but it seems like shutting down the bars and theaters and gyms would have a huge effect on its own. Agreed. That's what they did first here, and but I guess they're not doing that all over. I don't know. I know that some of the states are on lockdown in the U.S. now, but like somebody else said, it's state by state. But that's what they started here before they even put all of this into effect officially. Is that they started by closing the restaurants, the gyms, beachfront restaurants, bars, stuff like that, to try to keep, close groups of people away from each other. But obviously they took it to the next level, and then the next level. And then the next level.
Yeah. And I hope we don't go to the next level.
I don't know what the next level could possibly
The next
be.
level would be you can't leave your house except once a week to get groceries.
Well, that may be the next level. We'll see. So no, we're not allowed to go to the beach. Isn't that disappointing? We're not allowed to go outside unless it is specifically to buy food or medicine, or if we have an emergency. That's it. Hola from Guatemala. Oh, hey, Brant.
Hey, Brant.
Nice to see you. I saw somebody else is calling in from Georgia, from Idaho. There's somebody from,
Where?
Boloncito. Hey, Craig. There's our neighbor.
Oh. Craig is just right down the street.
Yep. You ate the laptop? Sorry. I have to have the laptop because I can't, our live chat on our YouTube studio page is not working.
Yep, for the second live stream in a row.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's all about.
No, we'll figure it out. I'm going to send him a message when we're done.
Oh, well. It could be worse. You could have no access to chat. That would make this a lot more difficult.
Yes, it would. Yeah, we would just have to sit here
We'd
and
just
talk.
be like, blah, blah,
And everybody
blah.
would be like, why are they answering my question?
I know. That would be really boring for everybody involved.
We do have a nice view. I have the window open and it's very sunny and we have palm trees and pretty flowers outside. But it's hot today.
It is hot.
It's very hot. What we got?
Carlos
Amelia?
said gun stores are making good money up here.
Oh, I bet.
Yesterday there was a big line for hunting permits and guns. Yeah, I saw that there was a big spike in gun sales. One of my coworkers was saying he's really into guns. Coworker from Colorado was saying he had a lot of people asking him what they needed to do to buy guns. I'm like, all right, everybody calm down. It is not going to. Let's hope it doesn't get to total anarchy, Walking Dead out there. I don't think this is going to turn into the zombie virus. Let's hope not. That'd be pretty
zombie
terrifying.
apocalypse. Yeah, Amelia. I told Amelia she's been studying Walking Dead in preparation for this.
Yes, I do like that show. Although I quit watching it, it became too violent for me.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a little bit of a wimp.
Yeah, and I watched a few episodes. I didn't like it at all.
No. Wait, I just saw something else. Oh, Monica, she's in Apartamentos Otorongo.
Hola, tell Javier and
Yes.
Samara that we said hi, and
Yes.
Samantha too.
Yes, hopefully Samantha's doing well. Somebody, I missed it, who it was, but somebody asked how your back was doing, JP.
Oh, it's doing great here. Yep, feel good.
We have a question. Is there a lot of mosquitoes here? Yes.
There are now. When we first got here for the first 2 or 3 weeks, we didn't see very many mosquitoes at all. But then we had 5 inches of rain in 24 hours, which I guess was unusual, and there was a lot of flooding. And since then, there have been a lot of mosquitoes. We're not happy about that.
No, they're annoying, and somehow they managed to move into our house, which makes no sense because it's not like we have, a pool in the house.
Yeah, some standing water in
They
here.
like the dining room table. It's very bizarre.
And our bedroom.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Did I miss anything?
But I guess the mosquitoes will go away once the cool season returns in May.
Oh, Bella the cat. Hi, Bella the cat.
Where? There's a cat?
Yeah.
Daisy, there's a
From
cat on
Chicago.
our live stream. Where is Daisy?
I don't
Oh,
know.
she's laying over there.
I feel like I can't get everybody. Sorry, you guys.
It's too many comments.
Here. I don't know how this is pronounced.
Tunisia.
No, the name. Siraj. Hopefully I did not completely
Wow.
butcher your name.
From Tunisia.
Oh,
That's
wow.
cool.
I know. It's so neat that we're all connected globally.
It is, yeah. That's
Well-
where Tatooine is located from Star Wars. That's where they filmed that.
Oh,
The desert planet, Tatooine.
I did not know that. It's your claim to fame. Okay. Oh my. So Brenda said all the beaches are closed in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I've been seeing, Carlos said that quality of air is getting better. I believe that with everybody on quarantine and staying inside. I'm sure planet Earth is Mother Nature. She's happy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, Travel With Us by Warren and Julie, do you know if veterinarian services are open or if they do house calls if needed? You know, I know that there are vets and they will do house calls.
They're in Cuenca.
Oh, you guys are in Cuenca?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, message Cuenca Animal Clinic. They're usually very responsive.
And they will do house calls.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, they're really good.
And those guys are great. They love animals.
And they speak, well, one of them speaks English, the other one doesn't, but they speak very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all over this country, the vets do house calls, just like the doctors will do house calls.
Yeah, this is a big service-oriented culture.
Yes.
A lot of house calls and very service-oriented.
Ola from Madison, Wisconsin. Ola from Phoenix. Are we learning any new skills or crafts other than video casting? Well, I was learning how to surf, but that has come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
So I told myself, oh, you guys, I have to tell you, JP and I were I was looking for a movie to watch, and I found Point Break. Love that movie so much. That's what inspired me to want to learn how to surf way back in the day. It's from 1991. That did not help my desire to go to the ocean. It just made it worse. But it reminded me that I better get my butt in gear and keep practicing my pop-ups. And I'm ready for when we can all go back outside and resume life. And I saw somebody as I was skimming through the notes saying that if this keeps up, people aren't going to have any money to buy food or anything else. And I hear that. That's the scary thing about all of this. I know that Ecuador is doing some things to help the poor families out, and the United States is doing that. I imagine other countries around the world are too, but yeah, I don't know. This isn't sustainable long term.
Nope.
That's what I think got JP kind of freaked out yesterday.
Yeah, because it hit me that, you know what, this can't go on forever. So at what point do we say, all right, well, we lost, so go about your lives, and if you get it, sucks to be you. You know, that's what got me down yesterday.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that point, because, you know, if everybody's really taking these steps like Ecuador is to control this, I would think it's going to peak and then it will slow down. And you know, and I saw an article that they said that there'll be another wave or two. I'm like, you know what? That's all speculation. We don't know. Let's just focus on what we can do right now at this moment in time. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yep.
And as far as learning other skills, no. We haven't really had a chance. I've been busy with my job, and JP's been busy revamping our Lot of Veg website and
channel.
Yeah, just doing all sorts of stuff like that. But we would like to. We're going to start practicing our dancing again, and we're going to practice our Spanish some more, which we've been a little lax in doing. We were doing much better when we were getting out and about because so many more people here speak Spanish and don't speak English. So it's nice when you can go out and fumble through live and in person.
Yeah. But here in the house, we all four of us speak English.
Yes. The dog's barks are in English.
Yes.
Let's see here. Craig said mosquitoes are worse in the winter alone because it stays fairly warm. With all the rain, they reproduce more.
Oh.
Solution, mosquito net. Yeah. Good idea, Craig.
Full body.
Yeah, we're just going to wrap ourselves in mosquito netting. Dynamic Daniel says, I hope once everything goes away that I will be able to go to Ecuador with my family and meet you guys because both of you are such an inspiration. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you're able to come and visit as well. We would love that.
And where's he from?
I'm not sure. You may have said earlier and I missed it.
Oh. That's all right.
Yeah, Sequoia said, can you imagine not having the internet in this lockdown? That would be really hard. I mean, everything is online based now. It's not even, I was just thinking that, like, downloading some books. I have a couple books here that the previous renter left, but Who goes and buys books in bulk anymore? What would we do? I was thinking that too earlier, that I wish I had gotten some stuff so I could do some crafting. I don't have any t-shirts to cut up. I have some sewing to do. I have a little bit of crafting to do, but not a lot to last me for, a month. Because I'm going to have to get innovative.
Yeah, and I don't have anything that I could do that's not internet related.
Yeah.
Everything I do is online.
You could.
I can study Spanish, although all of that, I use all the apps.
I know.
They're all online.
Everything we do, we're so internet heavy.
Yeah, we have a couple of Spanish books I could read, a dozen, 2 dozen times, but that would be about it.
Well, considering some of those Spanish the Spanish was a little more difficult, it might take us months. Yeah. So that actually might work out well.
Yeah.
Monica said the air is cleaner in Cuenca right now. I guess that is a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
That's cleaner all over the world.
Oh, and I heard that about Sequoia said, did you see, she said this to Brenda, but I'm going to share it with everybody. Well, I think you were sharing it with everybody too. The pictures of Venice is that the waters are clean, the sea life is coming back in. I think I saw some dolphins were swimming in.
Wow.
Did you see that? That's awesome. You quilt? Jane Buck says she quilts. That is impressive. I know that is very challenging skill. I've never tried it. I used to crochet back in the day. I did not make this, but I thought I can make some things. But you know what? You need supplies. I have no crochet hooks and I have no yarn. So therefore there will be no crochet.
And these are really cheap here.
Yes.
It probably costs more to get the supplies to make it yourself than it would be just to buy it here. My grandma used to quilt. I have a bunch of quilts at home that my grandma made me. When I say home, I mean at home in Kansas where my parents live. Oh yeah, they were beautiful. Sorry, I interrupted you with words, Amelia. Go ahead.
Well, so Steve said, JP, you can teach Amelia how to fly mini.
Oh, I can't go out and rescue her if she plummets to the earth somewhere, though.
Same goes for you.
What if I plummet to the earth?
If you drop Minnie to the earth, I believe you did crash her once.
I did. But I think that's an issue with Minnie. I read online that Minnie has an issue of uncontrolled descent. Some guy crashed his Minnie into the ocean.
Oh, that would be really, really awful.
Yeah.
That'd be really sad.
It would
Especially now that we have no way to get it.
No.
So be extra careful.
I will be extra careful.
I actually did have that thought. I guess I can learn how to fly it. But to be honest with you, I am a little afraid too because I don't want that responsibility.
I barely want it. I get nervous when I fly it.
I was not the best driver in the world. My family and I all have a tendency to bump things on occasion. Not like other people or cars. It's our own car. Like we bump it into the garage, into the curb. So I can see myself bumping Minnie into something. I know. I bumped when we were back in the States and I was driving Amelia's mom's brand new car and I bumped a curb when I was parking. And God, I was so upset about it and just really upset about it. And Amelia got out and she's like, well, it doesn't look that bad. And I said, that's not the wheel I bumped. And I went and looked and all 4 of the wheels had already been, the rims were already scraped. The least bad one was the one I did. So I was all upset for no reason. Well, but now you realize that you just put it out there. We never actually told my mom. Mom? I'm sure it's all completely scraped now. JP bumps your car. Sorry. Sorry we didn't tell you. We just confessed to the world. That was 2 years ago though, wasn't it? I know. It's just a little scrape on the rim. But it was a brand new car and I thought, oh man, I can't believe I bumped that curb. Yeah, that sucked. And Amelia's like, you have to park all the way out in the last spot. And I'm like, there's plenty of spots right here. No, all the way out. And it was right up against the curb and I just misjudged it. Hey, Gary. Gary. Oh, Gary. Hey, Gary. And people are talking about sprouting. That's a really good idea. I've forgotten to do that. We have friends in Cuenca that do that. They sprout. Oh, the beans? Yeah. Lentils. You can sprout lentils too, right? We have plenty of
Lentils and beans.
There is definitely no bean shortage here or in our pantry. We actually ended up bringing a lot of food with us when we moved from Cuenca because we thought we were going to have a couple more months to stay there and eat, and we did not. So now we're eating it here. And somebody asked, I missed it. I saw it, but I don't. Somebody said they miss Ecuador, the best food in the world. Yeah, the food here is amazing. The produce, fruits, oh my gosh. Anyway, somebody asked if they thought if we liked alone better than Cuenca or vice versa.
There's things we like and dislike about both.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we love Cuenca mainly because of the altitude, and Amelia was really tired of the cold weather.
I was tired of the cold.
But here, it's really warm. We sweat a lot.
I'm sweaty right now.
And we have mosquitoes, and we don't like the bugs. We don't like the bugs. But we also have the beach, which we can't go to, and we have the ocean, which we can't swim in.
Okay, well, all right. All of that aside, no, we can't do any of that right now.
It's beautiful here,
temporary.
though. And it's beautiful. I mean, we're looking out our window. It's just like a tropical paradise. It's just gorgeous here.
It is. The people are super friendly. I can't say I like one over the other because they're so incredibly different.
Yeah.
It's nice that we were able to experience and enjoy both places.
Yeah.
We were looking forward to going back to Cuenca, and we had planned on going. Well, we were supposed to be on our way. What days? Oh, we were going to go tomorrow, but that's not happening. We were going to go for our friend Avin's birthday.
Yeah.
And other things. So I'll have to have a delayed birthday party when this is over.
Yep.
But yeah, Cuenca's an amazing city. The architecture, the rivers.
Yeah, there's so many things to do, like
mountains.
cultural activities and expat activities. Cuenca's great.
I do miss having a big mercado.
Yeah, we have the little bitty mercaditos. They have a lot less selection, and a lot of times they're out of things that we want.
But we just go the next day, and it's fine. They don't have as much fruit here.
Yeah, not as much variety.
Right. But we still, we're not going hungry. We're not sacrificing at all.
Nope.
Well, and the other thing we miss is not having drinkable water.
Oh, yeah.
Tap water.
The tap water. At least in Cuenca, if you don't drink it, you can at least use it to wash your veggies. And here I boil a big pot of water to wash our veggies. So when we have to drink the bottle, we have those big 5-gallon bottles that are replaceable.
And honestly, the mosquitoes really and the bugs really are not bothering me that much. I think they pester JP more than they do me.
Yeah.
So.
Especially the mosquitoes.
Sorry, but thank you.
Well, but the sand fleas or the little bugs on the beach bother you more than they do me.
Yeah, but they kind of stopped. It's like if the first couple of days or the first week, God, I was attacked nonstop, and then it's like they just lost interest. I guess they got used to me and moved on to the next new person. They like a variety. Yes, the river in Cuenca, beautiful. Gary said it's beautiful in Cuenca right now. Perfect weather to dream of. It's beautiful here too. It's too bad we all are stuck inside, but at least we can see the blue sky.
Yeah, at least we can look outside.
Yeah, could be worse, right? Things can always be worse. Brenda said, next millionaire will invent a drone that can pull itself back out of the ocean. That would be awesome. Oh, that's a good idea. Michelle said they've gone for walks in the Mercado each day in Cuenca as an excuse to leave the house and have not been bothered by the policia at all. That's good, and that's a good idea. It is. That's hard. I've only been out once in almost a week, and
I don't know if that's a good idea or not, Amelia. The goal is that we're supposed to stay inside and not go where other people are, unless you have to.
Well, that's true. But if you're going to get food,
we can't condone that activity.
Okay, you're right. I know but this is the thing. This is what we're all dealing with, right? It's hard. It's hard to stay inside and not, we walk everywhere. It's been a real change to not be able to walk. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm not going outside. We have a backyard, but to even just take Daisy for a walk, it's weird. And
we always go together. And I went out yesterday to the Mercadito all by myself. It's really weird to go by myself.
It is. The whole thing, it's all weird right now. Everything is crazy. People are talking, Judith said there's lots of information about container gardening on the net. That's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, we actually need containers though.
Well, but we have dirt out in the backyard that we can plant in. So
Yeah. Guess we can till up our backyard if we have
We can
to
make a
start
garden.
growing our own food.
No, Daisy would just trample
Yeah,
it as
she
soon as
would.
she saw a cat.
She would just go plowing right through it.
So live stream confessions, yeah. So Judith said, I live in rural Missouri and I'm only 2 degrees of separation from someone who has been hospitalized with this coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't know anybody.
At least we don't know of anybody,
Yeah.
of anybody that we know that has it. Or
Rumor has it there were a couple people in my company that may have been exposed, but we don't know who they were. And because of HIPAA laws, they're not allowed to say anything like that. So I don't know. I know an architect friend of mine is in self-isolation because she thought she may have been exposed. So hopefully the person that you know and everybody will be all right. Oh yeah, Gary said, I was sorry to see a surfer arrested for being out after curfew. Being on a surfboard in the ocean has got to be one of the safest places you could be. Yeah, I know. Because you're out there by yourself in the middle of the ocean. But
yeah,
I think the problem is that, if it's one person and then it's one more person and then the next thing you know, there's
the whole
like
beach is full.
20 people out there and they just want everybody to.
Yeah. When we were
I guess you can't make an exception for anybody,
No.
right?
When we were out there on Monday afternoon before the quarantine started, there were like 50 people playing soccer on the beach together or football. And I told Amelia, I'm like, I can't believe that, there's that many people all huddled together playing soccer during this. But I think if they allow the surfers, then they might end up with the soccer players too. And they're just basically saying nobody.
Nope, I know.
¿Qué más, Amelia?
It's a bummer. People are sharing about Judith. They're doing Jane is doing sweet corn.
Oh, I love sweet corn.
We do have some seeds. We bought some herb.
Yeah, we have some
seeds, so we were gonna.
Cilantro and basil and parsley.
Judith said the economic impact of this is going to be almost worse than dealing with the disease itself. We've been talking about that a lot too. It's like, and just like a couple of other people have mentioned in the chat, like how are we gonna ride the next wave, which is the economic wave?
Yeah, that's going to be a lot harder, I think, because it's going to last a lot longer.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure this one will be worse than the last 2 downturns combined, and will last longer. But if history is any indicator, usually once these things are over and the economic part goes away, we usually have a period of prosperity between 7 and 10 years until the next crash. But hopefully this won't last too many months or years, and we'll be onto the economic prosperity part again.
let's hope. So somebody asked, where is it? After this pandemic, do you think it may get harder in Ecuador? Because I believe the world may experience a recession. Yeah, I think it's going to get harder everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so hard to know. Sorry, I have an itchy nose.
I know, I do too. I think it's because the window's open. I had the window open and it's blowing all that pollen and stuff right from all these flowers right outside our window.
Yes, we've been sneezing a little bit, but it's worth it. The flowers are beautiful.
Yeah, unfortunately, these economic downturns affect the lower income people a lot more than the higher income people. So pretty sure that Ecuador is going to get hit pretty hard.
I think just like everybody else, though, honestly. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. It's not going to be good. I just think about all the people in the States that have already lost their jobs, all the people in the hospitality industry, and it's expensive to live in the U.S. It's all relative, though. It's expensive to live here too if you don't have enough money to buy food, right? Just because food is less expensive here, but wages are less here for people who don't have access to working online jobs. So yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough all over, and all of us are going to have to hang in there and try to support each other.
Yeah, I really hope that everybody pulls together during this time. And I know we've seen quite a bit of examples of hoarding and extreme selfishness, but we've also seen a whole lot of people giving a lot.
Yes.
Like I saw that Yo-Yo Ma was doing a daily concert for people online, so people could tune in and watch him play.
Well, and somebody started a food bank here in Alone, which is awesome.
So a lot of people are trying to help and support each other, which we are really happy to see.
Yes. Angela said, things will never be what it was, and that's a good thing. The economic wave will be good for those with great imagination. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's always, you never know what doors will open, right?
Yeah.
What new opportunities will present themselves.
Yeah.
Way to see the positive. I like that.
Yeah. So I read this long article on Politico yesterday. It was like short paragraphs written by a bunch of different kind of future thinking people, and they were talking about the trends that they're already seeing and that they're expecting to see more of in the future. And one of them is that we're going to eat out less. In the States, people on average eat out more than they eat at home. And they're saying that obviously during the quarantine and the what's it called? I keep thinking sheltering. I keep thinking self-selection, self-sheltering, that people are eating at home more now, but then they think after this is over, the restaurants are going to take a big hit economically, and a lot of them are going to close because people are going to get used to eating at home, eating healthier foods, and they're going to get used to cooking.
Maybe. I would bet you if people have been cooped up inside for a long time, they're going to want to go back out. But if they don't have any money. Well,
but then there's also, they talked about the stigma of how unclean restaurants are. And I told Amelia that when this whole thing started, I said, here we are going out to eat dinner, and the server could go clean off, all the dirty dishes from an empty table, carry them back to the kitchen, pick up our dish and bring it to us to eat. And basically they transfer the germs from the dirty dish to the clean dish, and I doubt seriously if they're washing their hands after every time they touched something.
Well, having worked in restaurants before, I know that at least places I did, they did not, especially if they're busy. You don't have time to do that.
Yeah, so
it's just stuff we never thought about.
Yeah, I never really thought about that before, but also we didn't have this kind of a contagious virus around either. But anyway, so that's one reason why long story short, tangent.
Sorry.
That's one reason why we're revamping our cooking website and our cooking channels, because a lot of people are going to be cooking now for at least for the next several weeks, if not several months, and maybe longer. And they're going to want to know how to cook things, because a lot of people, that's what they said, a lot of people have forgotten how to cook or never learned how to cook. And so we're hoping that people will watch us teach them how to cook again.
Hopefully so. So Carlos, I just read that your wife is not allowed to leave the ship that she's on and that you guys are separated. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Oh,
but that would make things even more difficult.
Wow, that's awful.
That's tough. That's sad. And Monica said, I just wonder how some of the shop owners of these small businesses in Cuenca will survive the shutdown. Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, that's why I told Amelia this morning, that the people getting arrested in Guayaquil, I said, well, they're probably going out to try and earn some money to buy food, because a lot of people here, they go out and they work during the day to earn enough money to buy food for the day. And they don't have a savings account and a lot of extra money laying around to carry them through. They live day to day. A lot of people in the world live day to day.
Well, that's what we learned when we went to India. We visited Chini's family, and she's from a small fishing village, and they fished, and they went out and caught the fish every day, and that's what they lived on.
Yeah, so what are you going to do? Stay home and starve to death, or go out and catch a virus, or get arrested? Yes.
He's just joining.
It's definitely dire circumstances for the lowest income people who don't have a buffer like a lot of us do. Very thankful that we have that Amelia still has a job, that I still have my income, and that even if we lose that, we still have savings to fall back on. So
yes, yeah.
I mean, wouldn't last us a long time, but our cost of living here is so much lower that we would last a lot longer here
than we would in the U.S.
Yeah, in the States, we had enough to last about 3 months before we would run out. But here, we could probably live for a year or more with no income. But I'd like to think we're a little bit smarter than that we figure something out.
Yes, yes, I'm sure we will. Let's hope it doesn't come down to that for anybody. I don't want anybody to be suffering more than we already are. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like we're suffering at all. There are people out there, obviously, who need much more than we do.
Yeah.
And I don't want things to get worse for any of us. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I'd like this to get better soon.
Yes.
I am ready for it to get better.
Yes, there may be dog anarchy soon.
Yeah, the dogs are, man, Daisy, she is getting madder and madder as the day goes on, as the days go on.
Okay, sorry, yes. No more negative talk.
Yeah. Sorry, sometimes I have a tendency to go down a rabbit hole.
So somebody asked for Fabricio, if we know a good resource for running a house in Cuenca. We don't.
Gringo Post.
Yeah.
But what's her name?
Oh yeah, what was that lady's name that we were supposed to meet?
Audrey? Amber?
No, I don't remember.
She
was
really
the one
bad.
who did
The international living stuff.
I can't remember her name. Well, we'll find it, and then can we put it in a comment or something?
Yeah, we actually, she's in our Scrolodex. I can't believe I can't remember.
Well, we have a lot of other things on our mind. We were supposed to have met with her.
Yeah, we were going to do a video.
And it didn't work out, and then we thought we'll do it when we come back, and we still will at some point, hopefully.
I'm not sure that she helps people find rentals, though. I know she helps with real estate. She might do rentals.
Yeah, it's not easy to find a person that will help you with a real estate rental, but definitely Gringo Post, word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cuenca High Life will have advertisements for rentals. There's OLX.
Oh yeah, OLX
Is another source.
It's all in Spanish, though.
It is in Spanish, but you can figure it out.
Yep. Use your browser translate.
Yep, it works pretty well.
Amelia uses that. How do you turn that on? I've never even seen that.
I don't know. It just automatically does it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because mine doesn't. I wonder if I turn something off.
Probably turn something off.
I have to go look for that.
Doubt I would have intentionally turned that on. That would have taken effort. I normally don't do stuff like that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Woo! Judith says she's expecting a huge baby boom in 9 months.
Yeah,
Nice.
We talked about that too. Yeah.
And Alan, we're thinking we're going to do a weekly live stream, but it'll probably be a few times a week. We want to stay connected with everybody. It's just a lot of fun for us.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. And, like we said, we're all in this together. So let's share our thoughts.
Yep. So do we have anything else?
Terry said.
More baby humans. Yep.
Oh, sorry, itchy nose.
I know, me too.
Sequoia said she's a postpartum nurse and she'll have work to do. Yes.
You'll be busy in 9 months.
Dynamic Daniel, I'm glad you enjoyed the time. We've really had fun too. What time is it anyway? I have no idea.
It is 2:48.
Oh, we should probably get hanging up here pretty soon.
Yep.
So what are we thinking, JP? We're gonna.
Yeah. What do you guys want as far as live streams? We're thinking we just do this to every once in a while, every few days or so, just to kind of help bring us all together and laugh a little bit and try not to go down negative holes.
Yes. Thank you for calling us out on that. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We want to keep this positive and happy. Oh, you know what? We want to know, you guys, maybe for our next chat, come tell us what you're doing to keep yourselves entertained. I love the gardening and the quilting. I know some people are watching Netflix. Somebody put in here that you can live stream some Broadway stuff. I don't remember who that was. Sorry. Hey, Bonnie.
Hola, Bonnie.
She said, Bonnie said she's been able to lead some online meditations to help people find peace and breathe in health into their bodies to uplift their moods and energy levels. That is awesome. That's an excellent idea. That's great, Bonnie. Thank you for sharing that. Taking a deep breath is always very important. Trying not to panic.
How are you leading those? Is that through Facebook?
I thought I saw something on Facebook now that you mentioned it, Bonnie. Aaron wants to know, hi from St. Paul, Minnesota. What do you use to record your videos?
The regular videos or the live stream? The live streams, we're just using my Mac, the webcam. And because I don't have the equipment to plug in my camera to do a live stream. And for our videos, a lot of times I just use an iPhone for a lot of them. But I also have a Panasonic Lumix G85 Lumi, and I love Lumi. And then we have Mini for the aerial stuff. But a lot of times, it's not really, a lot of people think that you got to have great equipment. It's really about the story and the editing. The camera device is not nearly as important. It's audio. That's the main reason why we got Lumi, is because I have an external mic that if it's windy, the audio on an iPhone just doesn't come out. So when it's windy, we take Lumi, and a lot of times we just take an iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Works well. All right, where did I? Some typical food of alone.
I don't know. It's so diverse here.
I know.
It's like the restaurants. I mean, we've got everything. We've got Italian, pizza, Indian. We've got a restaurant that what do you call momos? Like fusion?
I guess, yeah.
It'd be like a fusion, but half their menu's plant-based. And then
they have the typical, I don't know what they call it here because we don't need it, with the chicken and then the rice.
Yeah, the Seiko.
Yeah, they do have that here.
Yeah, they have regular, they
pizza.
Have pizza's really popular. They have several pizza places, we tried 2 of them and they're both really good. What else? They've got Balulu's. I'm not sure what they do. We have a place that is like a Mediterranean restaurant that serves, they call them poke bowls, but it's like a Buddha bowl from my perspective. But
yeah, they're really good. There's a wide variety.
So as far as traditional Ecuadorian food, we don't eat at those places generally. They're usually grilling things out on the street.
Right. It's similar to Cuenca,
yes,
I would say.
It's a lot like Don Bosco, if you drive through Don Bosco.
Actually, I've never seen any. They don't do the pig.
No, they don't do the pigs here, but they do all the outdoor grilling on the street. They just bring their grills out on the street, and 2 blocks of outdoor cooking.
I haven't seen any of the meringue or whatever that stuff is either. I wonder if it's too hot here.
Like the custard?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You see it all the time in Cuenca.
In Cuenca, I haven't seen that here once. They do have the Pinguino guy that drives around and rings his little bell.
Yep, the ice cream man.
The ice cream man. And then they have a guy that on the beach that walks around with a cooler. And he kept saying, Manicho, 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 Manicho. And I couldn't say it at first. And I kept asking Amelia, what is he saying? And Mani is peanut butter and Cho is chocolate, short for chocolate. So it's basically peanut butter chocolate ice cream bars. Yeah, we could get those at Tuamiski in Cuenca. They were made with, coconut milk?
I don't know what she
almond milk.
Almond milk.
Almond milk, but so he's a really old guy. It looks like he's about, 85?
Yeah.
And man, I said, how do you think he learned how to say that so fast? Manicho, 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 Manicho. And he just goes up and down the beach saying this over and over.
I think it's just practice.
It took me a lot of practice to be able to say it that fast.
So ceviche, yes, there is ceviche here, and pollo arroz. I guess that's minestra. That's
minestrone.
No, that's what. There is that one restaurant over there. It has minestra. I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Yeah, we don't.
Brenda said she thinks the parks will be crowded for a long time after the virus is gone. I agree. Everybody's going to be outside.
Yeah, in Ecuador, the parks are always crowded. People really use the parks in Ecuador. That was one thing we noticed. It's a lot different here than it is in the States now. Is the park usage?
All right, I skipped ahead too. So hold on. So Bonnie said that she used Zoom.
Oh, you use Zoom. Awesome.
I use Zoom all the time for work. It works great. The work works.
The Zoom works.
The Zoom works.
How do people get in touch with you, Bonnie, if they want to attend one of your...
She said she advertised on Facebook, but I found it. But I use Zoom for the meditations. I could do one for unconventionals if anyone wants that. Oh, that's awesome, Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie, post that in the Unconventional group on Facebook, please.
Please and thank you.
And then everybody else, we have a group on Facebook called Amelia and JP's Unconventional Community. So go there, follow the page or like the page, whatever. They have 2 different options. I don't know what the difference is. So just do both.
It doesn't make sense. You think what?
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then Bonnie will post the link to her meditation on there, so you guys can find it.
Yes, that'd be awesome. Oh, and thank you, Sequoia. This top is super comfortable. I had to get some new clothes when I came here because everything was for Cuenca weather, and or else black.
Yeah.
Which is fine inside, but when it's, the sun is shining, you don't want to be wearing black. I had some summer stuff, but not a lot that I brought with me from the U.S., but it's like heavier too.
Yeah, thicker. So we went shopping a few weeks ago, and everything she pulled out, she's like, "What do you think of this?" I'm like, "It's black."
I know. It's
and
such
she's
a
like,
habit.
what about this? I'm like, "Amelia, it's black. No more black
No
clothes.
more black.
We live on the beach. Like, why do they even sell black clothes here?"
I don't know.
So I talked her out of buying more black clothes, but we definitely, both of our wardrobes are black. We look like we belong in New York City, not Ecuador.
Yeah, I have a lot of long sleeve black t-shirts,
Yeah.
different style shirts that I rotated in Cuenca. We don't need those now.
Yep. We're much less monochromatic here.
Yes. And a different Bonnie asked when I'm going to go surfing. So disappointed. When the quarantine is over and we're allowed to go back to the beach.
You're going to make her cry.
I got started just enough to, I don't know.
To get the bug.
To get the bug, yes. I was able to stand up. It's really fun. It's quite challenging, but I love it. But that is on hold right now.
She hasn't caught her first tube yet, though. That was my Keanu Reeves imitation from Point Break last night. Caught my first tube today. She has not caught a tube yet.
Ooh, ceviche de chocho sounds really good, Carlos. Good idea. Let's see here.
With tomatoes, onions. That would be
That
good.
sounds really good. Oh, Ashley Rogers. Thank you.
Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who said that?
Michael Dance.
Michael.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah,
Appreciate
Ashley.
it. And
She's a really cool person. We really wanted to meet with her before we moved here, but we didn't make it. All right, Amelia, I think we need to start wrapping it up.
I think so. Mosquito situation in alone, it hasn't actually been as bad the last few days because we haven't had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And Craig's right. We should get some mosquito netting.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to cover myself.
Yeah, we'll just
and then
wrap
they'll
up
just
and
get it. They'll just all go to you.
Yeah. Daisy's down here.
Yeah, chocho ceviche. Boy, that sounds really good. I think I'm going to have to investigate that.
Yeah, that would be good. I already have it pictured in my head. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. It's been an hour.
Yep.
Give or take here or there.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. I had a blast. This is super fun. Way to snap me out of my funk. Before this, I think I mentioned in the very beginning, I had read the latest and greatest on the Ecuador stats, and it was not very happy news. So,
Yeah, she was upset about that.
yeah,
She
it's
was
disturbing.
sad. Yeah, it is.
But
we're not ending on. We're not going to end on negative.
No.
Note. So let us know in the comments. You'll be able to continue to watch the live stream if you started late. Once we end it, and let us know in the comments if you want to do this more often.
Yeah.
And how often?
Well, we originally yesterday's video we said
Sunday, Tuesday,
Thursday, so we could stick with that schedule if that works well for everyone.
Yep.
We're flexible.
Yep.
I have meetings in the mornings, so mornings will not work with my schedule unless it's on the weekend.
Yep.
And that's as of now.
Daisy.
Who knows what will happen in the future?
Here, let's see if we can get Daisy in here.
Daisy's like, what on earth are you doing?
She's like, Dad, leave me alone. And then where's Leisha? Oh, she moved over there.
Yeah, I think I was getting too hot for her. She also did not want her nap interrupted by her mom.
All right, guys.
Daisy.
All right, guys. We'll see you all in our next video and/or live stream. Leave us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and tell your friends about it if they want to join us for the next one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see you all soon.
All
Ciao.
right, thanks, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao. That was super fun.